The Great Shark Hunt, Part 3. Immediate Chaos. Welcome back to the Ghost of Gonzo Hour. This is Hunter S. Thompson, clawing his way through the grave dirt to report one last time on that carnival of sharks and savages. You've survived Part 1 and Part 2. The arrival, the madness, the floating orgy of millionaires and tequila. But now we come to the final act, the breaking point. The bloody climax of the Great Shark Hunt. The dawn after madness. The third day dawned like a hangover made flesh. The boats reeked of vomit, diesel, and blood. Half the crews hadn't slept. The other half were missing entirely. Last seen passed out on beaches, drifting in dinghies, or crawling into hotel bars. Those who remained stumbled around the decks muttering curses at the sun. This wasn't Hemingway. This wasn't noble fishermen versus noble beasts. This was the apocalypse in swim trunks. Betrayal and paranoia. By now, the sharks weren't the enemy. The enemy was each other. Arguments broke out over lines, bait, women, and trophies. Someone accused another boat of cheating, sneaking a shark aboard the night before and pretending to catch it in the morning. It may have been true. It may have been tequila hallucination. No one cared. One man pulled a knife. Another swung an oar. The captain fired a shotgun into the air just to prove he was still in charge. The Great Shark Hunt had devolved into mutiny on every boat. The blood in the water. And then, the sharks came back. Not one, not two, but a whole school of them, circling like Wall Street bankers around a dying economy. Maybe they smelled the blood of fish. Maybe they smelled the blood of men. Either way, they came fast, dorsal fins slicing through the surface like switchblades. Panic hit like a tidal wave. Lines snapped. Deckhands screamed. One man actually did go overboard. Whether he jumped or was pushed, nobody knew. The water boiled red. For a moment, nobody moved. Then they all moved at once, shrieking, firing flares, pulling the engines to full throttle. The sharks had turned the hunters into prey. And I sat there scribbling, laughing like a lunatic, because this was the perfect metaphor for America. Fat, bloated, drunk, high, armed to the teeth, convinced of its own superiority, and suddenly realizing the predators were waiting just beneath the surface. The crashing end. By the time we limped back into port, the so-called tournament was over. Nobody remembered who won. Nobody cared who caught the biggest shark. The real story was the wreckage. Sunburned billionaires passed out on the docks, boats scraped and battered, rumors of missing men who may or may not have been swallowed by the Gulf. The sharks didn't lose. The sharks never lose. The only losers were the humans, bloated, hungover, and forever haunted by the fact that the ocean is not theirs. Writer's epiphany. I looked at my notes, smudged, stained, nearly unreadable, and realized this had never been about fish. It was about power, arrogance, and the grotesque theater of man trying to dominate nature, while he couldn't even dominate his own thirst. The Great Shark Hunt was the great American dream, distilled into rum and blood, ugly, violent, pointless, and yet somehow irresistible. Outro, the final ride. And so, my friends, that was the Great Shark Hunt. Not a fishing story, not a sports report, but a grotesque carnival that revealed more about America's soul than any election, any war, or any courtroom drama ever could. The sharks are still out there circling, and so are the bastards who hunt them. This is Hunter S. Thompson, the Ghost of Gonzo Hour, signing off from the grave, still drunk, still angry, still laughing at the nightmare that you call reality. Head to YouTube. Etris1010. Smash that subscribe button like a sledgehammer. And don't forget the Ghost of Gonzo Hour on Podbean, where my ghost keeps howling the filthy truth in AI form. Punch the ticket, take the ride, God help us all.